Well, everybody, I thought I'd go ahead and show you how we're going to finish out our gnome. So, as I mentioned before, although our gnome will not have eyes, we are planning on putting in his nose. We have his beard ready. You can make a mustache for him. You could add some ears. You could add on eyebrows if you really wanted to. They would be on the hat. So there's his gnome hat. We've created his body already and his shoes. So let's start putting him together and then adding more stuff for more fun. Here is our gnome pinch pot. So we created our pinch pot. We poked a hole in it to allow air to escape from the hat into the body. I'm going to add his feet on so I can get him nice and stable. And then we're going to add his beard on. Here's his feet. I'm going to comb it, score it, scratch the surface up with a toothpick. And really, it doesn't matter which side of the pinch pot you use because the whole thing is going to be covered. So I'm scoring this about where I think the feet are going to go. I'm actually going to score it quite a bit more than I need to, but only because it gives me the freedom to work with the feet. I want to be careful with his feet because I want to make sure that he's stable and he doesn't fall apart. All right. There we go. So now I'm going to take his feet and I'm going to push him on where I scored it. I'm going to fold it back a little bit back here where his feet are flapped under. I'm going to fold it so that way he's really stable. When you're done with your gnome, one of the things you need to know is the gnome is not going back into the bag, just like your dragon eye does not go back into the bag. It just sits on the counter. When it is dry, it'll stay together, but it'll still be incredibly fragile. It'll be fun, not to bring it back to school, but we're going to figure that one out. All right, now I'm going to comb the back of the beard. I'm going to put the beard on first. I say comb, but I'm using different tools, so just in case you don't know what to have, all of this works wonderfully. And while I'm here, I'm going to use my toothpick to comb his nose. So now I'm going to go ahead and on the front of him, I'm going to comb it. I'm just going to cover this whole surface. Even where I think his nose might be, I'll just get it combed. I'm putting the beard on first because I think it'll be easier to work around the beard than it's going to be to work around the nose. Add some water. Add some water. More water. Here is his beard. Yeah, so his beard is definitely longer than the pinch pot. But I'm still going to push it really tight right here. And I have two options. I can bend the beard forward like this so that when it's sitting, it's still dragging the ground. Or I could go ahead and take my toothpick and cut it off. I think it's cute. I've already scored all this so I can squeeze the nose on. If you notice, I'm putting a hand inside here, my thumb inside. When I press against, it gives me something to press against. Okay, the cuteness is already happening. Okay, now the most difficult part of attaching, just because I think we build them too small. So ideally, you want the hat so that it will touch into the beard. Okay, but I'm still trying to be super careful with this hat. Turns out it's really long, so I'm going to bend it back a little bit. And I'm going to make sure that it sits right here. Trying to get as close into this beard as I can. I'm a little bit concerned about going close enough, so that's where maybe a mustache could fix some of this. Bending the beard, the hat a little bit more. If you're concerned about like how this is working, if it's going to stand, you could take a napkin or a Kleenex and put it inside. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the location of this. I will be adding a mustache to fix my my too small hat. So I'm going to take my hat off. I've already scored a little bit on the inside. Now I'm going to actually use the comb to show you what the comb does. I'm going to comb around the edges. I'm going to comb the top. I'm pushing pretty lightly with this. I'm making an indentation, but I'm not cutting all the way through it. Okay, pretty good. Add some water. Add some water. Pop the hat on. Press it down. Again, I'm going to use my thumb inside of it. And I'm going to push down here. It doesn't have to fully attach. You could leave it to where there's an edge around it like this, if you wanted to, or you could smooth it over to where it looks like a full piece. I want it secure, but I like the edge, so I think I'm just going to press the edge. Instead of like pushing it in all the way so it disappears, I'm going to leave the edge there. As long as I feel like it's stable. If it doesn't fall off his head. All right, now I'm going to pull him off to the side. He's just making me smile. And I'm going to give him a mustache. So my gnome is now a boy. I would think so. So my coil, I'm going to kind of form it. I'm going to do 2 of them. 1, 2. If you notice something about it, I'm leaving part of my coil a little bit fatter than the other parts of the coil, because that's going to be towards the inside of the mustache, right above the nose. I'm going to leave it a little bit fatter. All right, so stash alert. All right, when I tested my stash out, it's too big. So I'm just going to take a little bit off the end of it, and then I'm going to take the thin parts off and re-roll it. Double duty. And then try the bend. Okay, and then because I'm on a careful surface, I can go ahead and comb these. These will be okay, but I don't recommend combing your gnome at this point in time. He's still a little fragile. So with my gnome, I'm going to score it by chopping it up like this, where it's going to be touching. And it's going to touch the top of his nose. Perfect. Water in both locations. Stick them on. Stick it on. There we go. So now he has a mustache. Oh, now this is where it gets ugly, and you want to fix some of this ugly. This extra scoring, I really don't want that there. So if I can, I'm going to try and smooth it out. I think it'd be fun if my gnome had a little patch on him because he's been outside. And maybe his hat got a little bit messed up. I could add it on by cutting out pieces. But I think I'm just going to draw a square here on the side of my gnome. Like this. Looks a little bit more like a hashtag. Don't love it. Smooth it out very carefully. I think I'm going to try it again, but just do a little square. I'm not going all the way through it. I'm just drawing. Oh, I'll do a diagonal line from the corners. There we go. That's a little bit better. So now he has a little patch. Now I need to go ahead, and the last thing I'm going to do, smush his bottom back out, is I'm going to put my initials, like the dragon eye. I'm going to write JC5. So I know this comes from a 5th grader when I'm going through the chaos of firing all this. And this little bit of perfection is like totally done. I mean, really, you just can't get better than this. So thanks for coming and hanging out with me while we make our gnomes and our dragon eyes. And we're going to go ahead and say goodbye. Watch JoJo. I've got a fun chalk art thing we're going to do today in the rain and with the wet ground. Thanks for coming. Set your gnomes out to dry and let's have some fun.